Hey dudes and girls, here in the kitchen, but we're not going to be going over recipe. We're actually just going to be talking about general nutrition. So with a name like Buff Dudes, is better understanding of food and fitness. So instead of fitness, we're going to be talking about food today. And what happened is early on when I first started working out, when I was a skinny dude wanting to be a buff dude, I really didn't know much about anything, either be working out or nutrition. So I would just buy Muscle Fitness and I would just repeat Arnold's workout program because I wanted to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger because he had a good physique. As far as eating goes, I didn't know what the hell I was gonna do. So all I wanted to do is just eat a lot because I was gonna gain a lot and get really big. So I was doing some spring cleaning kind of in a way, and I found some of my old food logs. And as you can see, is what I tracked, and I would track every single day for months and months on end. So I have a bunch of these filled up with my food logs. And also, as you can see, there's no real macronutrient breakdown. And if you're not familiar with macronutrients, it's gonna be protein, carbs, and fats. That's what makes up the macronutrients. So I would just put the calories down because I just wanted a lot of calories. More calories equaled more size. So obviously I wasn't very educated in nutrition at that time, but I did know if you put in a lot of hard work and with the consistency, you can get a pretty buff physique. And that's exactly what happened. I would have 4,000 to 5,000 calories a day. I would sometimes work out twice a day. And that's what you got to kind of have in your mentality of the consistency and be like a machine where you put in the hard work every single day in the gym. And then you go home and you put in the hard work outside the gym 8 to 10 hours. And a lot of times that's why people say, well, the higher percentage is nutrition and not necessarily working out, because you're only in the gym for about an hour, 2 hours a day, where outside the gym, where you have to actually take in all that food and nutrition, is going to be 8 to 10 hours a day. The days of Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all these people posting their pictures of their 8-packs in the mirror, selfies and whatnot, these people, there are a lot of times that's all they do is work out and they eat properly. It's kind of hard sometimes when you live in day to day. You either have a full-time college student or you work 40 plus hours a week, full-time job, you have a family. Sometimes it's a little unrealistic expectations to think that you're gonna have these cover model physiques. So what you gotta do is just have a mentality of being consistent with your nutrition and working out and just looking really good and setting a realistic goal for yourself. If you do want to be a cover model, obviously you have to have the mentality of you're not going to be going out on the weekends, just having 12 pack of beers every day, or just going and eating some In-N-Out or McDonald's. You got to have the mentality of a machine where you're like, I am doing this every single day. I'm putting in the hard work. I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people and they say, I want to get big. And I'm like, okay, so how do you eat? How do you work out? I work out hard. I eat like a horse. And as I start learning about what they have to eat, they're having tuna, which is a good meal, egg whites, a protein shake, but that's about it. And they're very inconsistent with how many calories they have a day. You need that habit building. If you don't have that habit building, and you don't have the habit of eating right all the time or working out all the time and having that kind of machine mentality of like nothing can stop you, then you're gonna fail because you're gonna overcomplicate everything of like, what about intermittent fasting? What about if it fits your macros? What about the paleo diet? I don't know, this guy says this, that article says that. It's just you're gonna be psyching yourself out and you will never get on a consistent habit because you're always constantly yo-yoing around to all these different kind of fad diets, or even just these guys that are saying one thing that works for them. So you want to try that for a couple weeks and then you don't see any results. So then you switch to another one for a couple weeks and you don't see any results. Just find something, be consistent with it. Even if you're just making a food log with just the amount of calories. Hey, I want to gain weight. I'm going to have 3,000 calories a day. I want to have 4,000 calories a day. I want to get really big. Make sure you put that hard work in the gym. Make sure you're consistent with that calorie intake and you will see results. So that is the number one question we usually get is, how do I go from a skinny dude to a buff dude? And I can't stress enough that it's gonna take that consistency, it's gonna take that hard work, it's gonna take writing down your food every single day, tracking everything to make sure you're in line and to keep you consistent with everything. And that's really gonna be the number one thing. Can't stress that enough. So dudes and girls, get out there, make sure you put in that hard work, make sure you're consistent with everything, and we promise you, you will reach the goals that you've always wanted.